For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
I left Sacramento and headed for Los Angeles, opting to skip my San Francisco stop and my stay at Half Moon Bay. It didn't help that the family I'd planned to interview had the flu and I was still battling a cold, but I drove the 451 miles to my cousin's driveway. She even brought me tea to help my sore throat. 2 days later, I headed for a Malibu RV park and couldn't wait to see the ocean and walk along the beach. I'd heard the park is beautiful, but had no idea just how beautiful until I arrived. It was absolutely breathtaking. And would you believe the park store carried my favorite Washington Riesling? Then right away I met a woman who had a camper just like mine, color and all, and her name was Lisa. I enjoyed a walk on the beach, ate dinner outside, and did I mention the view? Staying at the park brought 2 unscheduled interviews, starting with this one. Enjoy the Malibu stop along the Don't Wait Project tour, and thanks for watching. Then, when talking last night, we were talking about the show, House of Cards.
Yeah.
We know that you're still filming.
We're still filming. We're finishing up our last season, and clearly, since I'm going to shoot, I got up from the bottom of the stairs somehow.
Okay, but we can't know how, right?
No, because then I'd have to probably kill you.
Yes. Tell us, but then you'd have to kill us.
But it will be a wonderful season.
So then you are here in Malibu, but only temporarily or only some of the year. So tell us a bit about that decision to be here.
Well, our son decided that he wanted to go off to boarding school. We did follow him, but in that moment of sadness that he was leaving, there was a slight aha moment that we could actually do some of our bucket list things. And buying a camper and living in it out here was one of those bucket lists.
And Jayne had always wanted an Airstream, and I was always fascinated by Airstreams. So we've been looking at them for a long time, and about 9 years ago, we put a bunch of ideas in a hat for a trip, one of which was to get a camper. And
camping in a camper.
Camping in a camper. And Jeremy, our son, picked that one. And so that was the trip we took for 2 weeks. And we rented an RV, and that was our first experience in an RV. And it sort of cemented and reminded us of this sort of dream. And about 10 years ago, I had bought Jayne a die-cast Airstream because that was the best we could do. It was about this big. And it was very
but
cute.
The top came out
and we knew that one day this would be fulfilled. And we sort of went to a pop-up camper. I took our son and 2 of his buddies across country in that and had a phenomenal experience. And then this was the next move when he went to boarding school. And it sort of all made sense, came into place pretty easily. And since we usually come here in the winter time during pilot season for 2 to 3 months, we just thought this would be
a way to
the
live
way to do it.
and a way to
so
live.
This is our LA office apartment, and
and we share this spot with hummingbirds and dolphins and whales and all kinds of human creatures and doggies that we meet here, like yourself, and we've made amazing connections. That's an amazing RV, by the way.
That was it, right? That's the momentum.
That's the momentum. M-Class, I'm going to look it up.
So then let's talk a little bit about how often you come here and what you've gleaned from the experience of just deciding to do this. You talked last night about, that you were kind of waiting to retire before you did this, and now you're thinking, well, we can work and sort of retire.
It's so much more fun.
It's so much more fun, and we started late. We didn't have Jeremy until I was 40. He was 39. Yes, he's a year younger than me. And so starting late in life, raising our son, and then working, we're always working, there was a decision that we aren't going to wait. We're not going to wait to do the fun things. We're not going to wait to explore what it's like living in a camper. And
In a glamper.
In a glamper, yes, it is a glamper. So just this year, I decided that we're working and retiring at the same time. So I'm starting a whole new movement, people, because you never know what's going to happen. You really never know, and it makes life so much fun to be able to do this. We're very fortunate that we're able to do it. Our lifestyle is such that we work, and then we have time off.
And we're natural bohemians. We're natural nomads. I mean, you have to
Gypsies,
be
yes.
in this business that we're in. We travel. Home is home. We have a base. And while Jeremy was growing up, we really didn't venture too far.
No.
But we are natural, as an expression, Tsigans, gypsies. And so this is just so simple for us to do. But
It's
it
an
also
extension of yourself.
It is.
It really is.
And it downsizes, and it really brings things to such a level of simplicity.
Yeah, I showed Lisa last night. Our closet is,
Right.
it's literally this big, and we have each half, and when we have to go through the hallway to our bedroom and past the bathroom and stuff, we have to make sure that one doesn't open the door into the other. And
when people ask, how do you do this, I usually just say, you just have to know how to dance with your partner, because there is, in those narrow spots, you have to be comfortable in that. You have to be
really
comfortable
like each
as you pass each other.
and like each
Yeah,
other.
you have to. I mean, otherwise it would be a nightmare for somebody to be in such close quarters. But it's just very, very easy for us.
We dance on
We dance.
Are you wanting high-speed internet but don't have access to PUD fiber? Try Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet from Localtel. Call 888-8888 today.
Still in Malibu, and just a few minutes after getting settled at the Malibu RV park, I noticed an Airstreamer parked nearby with signage that read, "Has Heart." I was on the phone with a friend at the time and said, "I've got to go. I think I just found another story." I met Tyler and Kendra, newlyweds on a 50-state road trip with a mission aimed at helping veterans share their own message. Take a look at their story, borrowed with permission, from their About Us production.
Road trips take us to places we've never been before. They keep us grounded, reminding us that we are a diverse country, both in landscape and in people. That we are a country made up of communities, families, and friendships connected together like a web. We get so used to our daily life and routine that we often forget about others, acting as strangers. It's not until we step out of that daily mindset that we see one another as people instead and recognize how much we rely on each other. Most frequently forgotten and taken for granted are this nation's veterans. We've seen the images and heard the talk on the news, but how many of us can say we've made an effort to interact with those in the military community? The gap between the military and civilian worlds has never been this wide. We at Has Heart, a grassroots, nonprofit organization, are setting out to bridge that divide with art and design with help from the creative community. Through a 50-state living and working road trip, we will connect, document, and share the stories of our country's veterans, serving as a reminder of what little distance there is among us. We look forward to seeing you on the road.
The day after I met Kendra, I had to travel to China for work. I didn't have her number, so I couldn't just text her while I was gone, so I had to figure out a creative way to ask her out from halfway across the world. While I was working at the factory, I thought drawing a little post-it note picture and sending a private message on Instagram would be my best shot.
This is what led to our first date. Dear Kendra, if I were interested in getting to know you better, would you prefer it to be over? That was cute though. Hands down the best way I've been asked out on a date, for sure. Hi, my name is Kendra Clappelgain, and I'm the Communications Director of Has Heart.
And I'm Tyler Way, the co-founder and creative director for Has Heart.
So I became involved with Has Heart on our second date. He walked me through the Has Heart Art Prize venue here in Grand Rapids. My first thought was, he has two jobs basically. It was a lot of work for him and Michael to do by themselves. And so I began helping him. Just kind of through our relationship, I started volunteering more and more with the organization. I have a background in communications and journalism with a specialization in writing. But it wasn't until I quit my job as a fashion buyer that I kind of took a more active role as the communications director here.
In 2010, I was introduced to Michael Hyacinth, an 8-year U.S. Navy veteran. When we met for coffee for the first time, we realized there was a severe disconnect between his world as a veteran and then my world as a creative. From our conversation, we recognized this need to connect and intersect our two worlds. Then, shortly after, Michael met a local Marine that was not only paralyzed from the neck down, but he was also unable to speak due to injuries he suffered while serving in Iraq. Through his full-time nurse, Michael discovered this veteran's passion for t-shirts. That's when Michael called me up and asked if I'd be interested in working with this veteran to create a design that told his story. It was through that powerful collaborative design process that we were inspired to create the Hero Series. The Hero Series partners one veteran with one artist with the shared mission to tell their story through the mediums of art, design, and fashion. So for the past 5 years, we've done a Hero Series each year with 5 veterans and 5 artists, and that's where we would enable them to collaborate and tell their story. And we've gotten that to a point where, okay, we know the impact and the power that there is in that process, so how do we reach more people with it? And that's where we've kind of decided, well, let's take it across the country ourselves. So we'll be spending our next 18 months living and working on the road for Has Heart.
I think this project needs to be in the format of a road trip because there needs to be connections made between these locations. There's something that needs to tie all these people together, all of these veterans, all these civilians, all of these creatives. It's not something that you're going to feel if you're doing this through the internet. It needs to be a face-to-face conversation.
So each state will partner one veteran with one artist and enable them to come together for 2 days. The first day they'll just kind of get to know each other. The veteran will share their story while the artist is kind of taking notes. And
yeah, when they meet, it's kind of like a blind date. A little awkward at first, but once they get to know each other, creative juices start flowing.
then by that second day they start with design concepts and really kind of hone in on what their design story and their purpose and message is in their design.
Not only are we just doing design, but we're also conveying the story behind the design, because we found out that that is really the most powerful part sometimes, I think the t-shirt, original to kind of our history, but it's also an opportunity for people to wear that message, walk around, share it with others. When I wear my t-shirts, people always ask me, so it really creates like a narrative, it creates a conversation. That shirt that you purchase, there's a story, there's a blog post behind it, there are photos, there's video from the state that it was designed in, and so it really is all encompassing. I think there are a lot of mediums. They exist to bring us together, but oftentimes they're what pushes us apart. Has Heart is providing a way to connect, you know, something that is more engaging, something that also is appreciative. People enjoy art, people enjoy design, people want to know more, and I think that this creative process really engages the veteran as well as empowers them. Connecting them with this artist is just amplifying their voice even further. Our biggest hope for this tour will be to really change the rhetoric around veterans. Frequently, we have our participating veterans say, "I never knew that someone wanted to hear my story." And to me, that's so shocking because they have experienced so much that I haven't experienced, and so I'm eager to listen to them. I want to know more. It really reminds veterans that their stories are important.
Having a veteran sit across the table from a creative that they don't know, but someone that is eager to listen to their story, and not only listen but also ask questions and learn more and then help them tell that story. That's really where that power of connection quickly multiplies, because a lot of people come together and it's really around these two people creating this one design and this one story.
Not only do we have these corporate level sponsorships, but we also have individual state sponsorships, and those are necessary to get this entire project done. And we feel like it was a really good way to engage smaller companies, even individuals, families, people that are passionate about our cause, and allow them to be part of a bigger picture.
You know, the right people will come in at the right time and support us and support the organization and the veterans and artists that we work with.
Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.
On a sunny afternoon in Malibu, Christine Elise McCarthy joined me at the kitchen of my camper to cook Kung Pao Chicken. You may know her from the television shows ER and 90210 and the Chucky movies. She's also known for her mad cooking skills and her cooking blog called Delightful, Delicious, Delovely.
So we're here at a Malibu campground, and Christine's going to cook for us today, and we're using the back of the teardrop camper and kind of getting all set up. So what are you making today?
I'm going to be making a vegan Kung Pao Chicken.
Yum.
With my favorite vegan chicken brand. It's called Beyond Meat. These guys, they make really great, faux meats. They're a really great burger called Beyond Burger. Anyway, this is the greatest stuff. It works really well in cold. You can make a cold chicken salad sort of thing from it, or hot dishes too. It's my go-to fake chicken. I've never cooked in the back of a camper before. It's super pared down.
You made your marinade already.
This is already marinating in, I believe, you have my crib notes right there in front of you. The marinade is a tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of rice wine, and a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. It's been sort of marinating. These chicken strips, they come like little fingers. I cut them up into cubes like this because I just feel like it goes further. It's more convincing visually that it's chicken too.
Okay. Yeah, and do you try to do that with your recipes if you're trying to make it?
Yeah.
If you call it chicken, you want it to look like chicken?
Yeah, I know it's sort of a scandal, and the vegan community is really divided about that, calling things meat that aren't meat. I kind of take a lot of flack from meat eaters that go, "Why are you calling it chicken if it's not chicken?" And then vegans are saying, "Why do you call it chicken if it's not chicken? Why do you even want to eat fake chicken? What's wrong with you?" I'm in the middle of two colliding factions and making everybody miserable, apparently.
Well, I think that it's a good introductory for someone who may not. Who may still want to get the feeling that they're eating chicken.
I agree,
right?
and that's what my channel is for. It's not geared toward preaching to the choir. It's geared toward luring meat eaters into trying things that don't have meat in them and finding out that they aren't. It's not just twigs and berries, and you're just living on carrot sticks, which you really are not. And this is going to come together really, really easily and fast too. This has been marinating in what I just said. It doesn't need to necessarily. That's a step that can be skipped. It's not a critical element to the dish. If you're in a hurry, you don't need to do it. This will come together. It should come together like in 5 minutes. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of. It's very hot.
Do you want to turn down a little?
A little bit, yeah. A tablespoon of oil in there. I should have used a high smoke point oil, like you said, avocado oil, because olive oil tends to burn fast. We're going to move fast. So I'm breaking into this It's good. Leave it like that. It's perfect. I'm breaking into this. Some dried red chilies. They're super like dehydrated. They're not edible. In the finished dish, you won't be eating these things. They add a great deal of
we're just doing the flavor. Getting the
it's burning
flavor.
already. Oof. Woo! I know. Now we're gonna choke because those chilies are in there. But
This is for our blooper reel.
wow.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Woo! I kill everybody. We're outside. Imagine they're in the kitchen. All right. So that was one little 9-ounce bag of Beyond Meat chicken. It doesn't even need to cook because it was real chicken. If it was real chicken, you'd have to be careful that it was cooked because, well, for obvious reasons, you don't want to eat half-cooked chicken. I'm going to add, this is the sauce. Now the sauce, you have my cheat sheet there too. I believe the sauce is 3 tablespoons of black vinegar.
Oh, sorry, I have your cheat sheet.
Yeah, if you don't have black vinegar, you can probably use a really nice, or you definitely can use a really nice balsamic in its stead. A tablespoon of soy sauce. A tablespoon of hoisin sauce. A tablespoon of sesame oil, and that's all that's in here so far. So I'm going to add this in here.
How's that temperature? Is that good?
I think it's good.
Okay, I turned it up a little after we turned it down a little.
All right.
Just trying to get it settled here. So talk to us a little bit about how you...
Let it go high, actually.
Oh, high? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're not going to choke to death on it.
Okay, there. And now that's as high as it goes, so it should be good.
I'll let that sit there and basically waiting for that to thicken up. When it thickens up, I'm going to add the garlic too. How are you guys on garlic? I have a lot of garlic.
Oh, I love garlic.
There's 6 cloves of garlic. It's very heavy on the garlic.
It's fine.
Love it.
We get to eat this when we're all done, so
Yeah.
that's why she's asking.
So the blog started 6 or 7 years ago, and that felt like I had run its course. I was stagnating and just doing this written blog, and that's why I stepped it up and started the channel last year in March. And so it's difficult. There's a lot as a one-woman show to make the recipes, shoot it, edit it, everything, and I have to photograph the food after it's cooked, so I have beautiful imagery for the blog and for the show. So I've been recycling a lot of stuff that I've already shot, visually,
Right.
And recipes that I didn't know are foolproof, because when you're starting a channel, you need to have recipes on that are easy and one won't fail. Because if somebody tries their first recipe from you and it's no good, they're not going to try a second one. So I've been trying to keep them to be foolproof, and
that's a lot of time.
It's a lot.
And effort. Yeah. It's a lot.
So
aside from filming it, just developing the recipe.
Yeah, but there's a couple on there that I literally made it for the first time on camera.
Ugh.
And there's a couple of...
does that usually work out?
Yeah. Some of them will never see the light of day, but most of them have. And that's pretty much done. Oh, by the way, I made a mistake. I didn't use all of my ingredients that were intended when I showed you on the stove there. After the fact, I added about 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger, and I added a squeeze of a little balsamic. You had a balsamic agave combination thing. I added a little some agave for sweetness and ginger. That's the complete list. Okay. All right. These are the hardest to eat with chopsticks. They're slippery and uncooperative. That's very good. And how do you feel about that big chicken?
It even has texture.
Yeah.
Like chicken. It's spicy.
Too spicy?
Not too spicy. Okay, the rice is hard to eat though.
It's not as spicy as that smoke that came off the oil. That smoke came off the oil was going to kill all of us.
See, I guess the trick with these is to get rice and the chicken in your bite.
The trick with these is to do photos with these ones and then get a fork.
Oh, really? You want a fork?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I have a fork.
No.
So you don't make it out here to Malibu very often?
I go years without seeing the water.
You're the third person who said that to me.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.